Hey everybody, it's me, Russ. Welcome to the channel. This is the month of May. Some of my earnings from this crazy job I do. Thanks for watching.
It's now June in the Seattle area, but here's some of the gigs I did last month, previous gigs. Had to,
I think it gets I need the phone, dude. It's like it's just the door, huh?
load up the ladder and head into this high rise, so to speak, in Ballard.
Here's the key code. Key thing, yeah. It's Monday. Off to a splendid Monday. So far.
This was my first task of the week, putting up some floating shelves and a few light fixtures in this top floor. Great view of Market Street out the window of this client's place. Right there is Market Street in Ballard. I put up those floating shelves. Boom. That's level right there. See that? A few light fixtures, but check this out. This is the adjacent building. Outdoor on the rooftop. It's like an apartment there. Pretty sweet.
There's where the deadliest catch boats usually spend their off-season. My grandpa worked on the shipyard down there.
And then across the city, in the traffic, in the rain, I was on my way to put up a few light fixtures, outdoor light fixtures on this old apartment building in the city. I'm here at an old apartment building in East Lake. Needs a couple of outdoor lights.
And there we are. And there's Vicky, my work donkey. Oh yeah.
A neat old building right next door to a modern building. Kind of smells like cigar smoke. I like it. Ooh, it smells like wood. Here was my power supply room. I'm like, seriously. These are all the units and then this is. And it was this one. All these are numbered, but this one. That's the one. That's what took me a while to figure out. There. That's some old-fashioned stuff right here. What's this? It's not gonna mess with that.
This one and that one.
August 1978.
They said I could park Vicky here right next to the Tesla.
Just under the Ship Canal Bridge. Look at that, it's right there. Ship Canal Bridge. Whoa.
Another task complete. Boom, hour and a half. Good money.
Fixed an electrical issue in the heart of the gritty city.
2nd Avenue, Seattle, Washington. Big downtown.
This was a diagnose and fix. The recessed light on the right worked, and this one on the left did not work, and I figured it out. It was a bad neutral, which I used this little light bulb to diagnose. There it is, finished, fixed.
Parked right in front of Seattle Art Museum. And there's no ticket on Vicky. Yay! Thank God. I went 20 minutes. You pay for parking with an app. And I went 20 minutes. I didn't realize that my parking had expired, so I re-upped it real quick.
So this next task I signed up for, not realizing what I was getting into. Putting up a 100-inch TV, basically. It came in this box, and it is a Hisense short-range projection screen, basically. And this thing was a nightmare. I tell you what, like I figured it out, but it took way longer than I thought it was going to. I mean, like 3 hours into this thing, assembling this screen, basically different layers. You had to wear white gloves so you didn't touch the screen or smudge it or anything. It just putting all these parts, it just massively confusing and complicated. But there it is, 100-inch screen.
The next
Day in the sunshine. Got an unusual task today. Taskrabbit Automotive doing a compression test on a boat. All right. Marina here in Everett, Washington. My own little town. It's marina life. It's very cool. Here's the boat. Compression test time. So I disconnected this. So, and then we disconnect the fuel. All right, go for it, man. All right, yeah. You got 120 right across the board.
On all four.
On all four.
Yeah.
It's a tired motor, but she's still got some.
She's got some life in her left.
Got some life in her, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Somebody dropped something. Divers over there. Diving for treasure or something. Interesting. I asked my client later in the chat if he knew what they were searching for over there. He said nope. But he said they were there for a while. All morning. But yeah, I did some diagnosis on his boat and did the compression test. Might come back later.
The next
So today I'm installing a GFCI outlet.
Okay, so we have this hot wire here. That hot wire was up here. This neutral was on the ground, and this neutral was over here. So that's a hot mess.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Wow, that was a mess. But I'm feeling good about myself because I was able to solve it. And sometimes it doesn't always go so well with faulty wiring, and especially when somebody makes a whole entire mess out of a three-way switch. But got it solved, and I also fixed two outlets that weren't working properly. I installed a GFCI, a used one. You know, I had some that I pilfered off another job. This guy was replacing a bunch of GFCIs and outlets because he didn't like the color. So I'm like, hey, can I have a couple of these? He's like, I don't care. So I basically used him in here because I wanted to make sure that she had a GFCI near the sink, A, and B, because the wiring was so, like she said her ex like to get high a lot, and he was like stoned out of his mind one night and decided he was going to put an outlet in the 3-switch area. Right? Yeah. Even basic levels, why? From a designer standpoint, that doesn't make sense. 3 switches with an outlet in the... What? Anyway, so he just put neutral wires where there should have been hot wires, and you had hot wires connected to neutral wires, and you had a ground wire that was a neutral wire that was hot. What? Like, this is what I was dealing with on this job. And I was able to get both, the one GFCI controlled the other outlet, which is on a USB thing, so it's by their computer, and they want to plug in USB on there. And so I hooked that up, and it worked before it didn't work at all because he had 2 hot wires coming into the hot and neutral on the plug. I should have took pictures. I took that one little video, but that was for my own reference, so
I would know how he wired it before I took it apart. It's always good to know. Like the fact that there wasn't a fire or something. Or just, I mean, that's what breakers are for. The breaker usually just pops and, oh, okay. Breaker's popped, it's all good. It keeps that stuff from happening. But the way this place was wired was just atrocious. So I billed 2.5 hours, and I lowered my rate back down to $59 an hour. And she gave me a tip. She was like, "This isn't enough. I feel like I should pay you more." I'm like, well, you can tip me if you like. That's cool. So they were really happy, and I'm happy that I was able to make them happy, which with some of these electrical jobs isn't always the case. But I still have a perfect 5-star rating on my light electrical work with Taskrabbit, so I'm pretty proud of that. With over 130 jobs, probably half of those, if not more than half, are light electrical. And now I'm on my way to pick up a basketball hoop and have it delivered to Lake Stevens. That should be fun. That pays like a half of my hourly rate normally, but sometimes I do stuff like this just because, why not? Life's an adventure. A weird little thought runs through my mind, like, what if this is like her ex-husband's place and I'm like just totally stealing this thing right in the middle of the day? Like, what do I know? I'm just hired to pick up a basketball hoop. The guy's not home, he's at work. She says, but you're more than welcome to pick it up now and bring it later to my place when I get off work. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And there it is, the basketball hoop in question. This is like, must be the boyfriend's house. Suburbia right here. Check that out. Comes out in pieces. See? Shouldn't be a problem. Easy peasy. Flooding the neighborhood. He's flooding the neighborhood. A curious bunny rabbit stopped by to see what I was doing. My wife gave me some nuts. He's over there hanging out. He's still watching me. There he is. So I threw some peanuts and stuff on the ground. Who knows? See if he comes. I'm out of here. I don't have time to wait for his bunny rabbit shenanigans. There it is. Its new home. And the next day I drove out to Redmond, home of Microsoft, and put up, I took that down and put a new one up there and put those lights up. But yeah, I love my little giant ladder because it can straddle and bend on stairs like this. It's very useful. Man! Traffic on the mean streets of Kirkland in the rain. Yeah. So Kirkland's claim to fame is that Costco, you've heard that name, right? Kirkland. If you're a Costco shopper, Kirkland, you're familiar with his name. So Costco is from here in the Seattle area. They used to have their big corporate office / think tank here in Kirkland, and for whatever reason, they named their Costco brand after this town, all right, this city, Kirkland. I don't know why. I don't know. They just didn't get more creative than that. They just like, we're in Kirkland, let's name it Kirkland. And then ayes, a bunch of people said aye. Nays, nobody said nay. They just named it Kirkland. So now when you buy a battery or a half gallon of tequila and you see that Kirkland name on both of those products, that's Kirkland's here. That's their claim to fame. Costco brand Kirkland is from Kirkland. Boo! Boo!
Arrived at this client's house in Kirkland, put up this mirror. I fixed a toilet paper holder where the drywall was coming out. And the most time-consuming thing was taking down this chandelier and replacing it with this one. This monster chandelier, which was, half price, $1,300. And there it is. I had to anchor those 3 mounts in the ceiling. That was the hardest part of that, but easy peasy, got it done. On to the next task in the cold and rain. And can we talk about the rain for a minute? We've had like the wettest May in 74 years. And cold, it's just been miserable for what should be almost summer. And sure, we're known for our gloom and rain, but this is just out of the ordinary. All complaining about the rain aside, headed out from Kirkland at that last job to Bothell, which is funny, the new people moving here would call it bot hell, where the bad bots would go when they die. But truth be told, it's not bot hell, it's Bothell, Washington, where I put up this TV on this mantle mount. It pulls down. It's above a fireplace. This thing was overly complicated. I do not recommend one of these mounts, by the way. Mantle mount. This took over 2 hours to assemble this thing. It was like putting together IKEA furniture or something. Just overly complicated. But I get it. It's the only kind of vertical mount that pulls down instead of going side to side. But I had to move it because they didn't like how high it was. It was just a nightmare. Also, this site where they built all these condos was a memory flashback. I had to check this out.
So back when I was a kid, and when our kids were kids, this was a big, it's like an amusement center kind of thing. It was a country farm sort of theme, and they had little rides and shops, and now it's condos. That's what happens. I don't know. It's progress, I suppose. The property started falling apart. It came into, all these little shops were in these little shacks, and they started leaking and having all sorts of weird problems. And now, the people that owned it had some health issues and made billions, I'm sure, off of selling this land. It is. Country Village Cafe. This is sort of it's like a grave, like visiting a memorial kind of, right? Interesting. Country Village Gallery. Look at that. There's a caboose. Great Northern Caboose. 1980s. 2017. The timeline. 5 years. They built all this in 5 years. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Those still with me and curious, yeah, this was something I walked up on. Getting out of a job, wedged himself up against that truck. He couldn't go forward, couldn't go backward. He did leave a note right there. But yeah, I got his license plate and all that stuff, and just wanted to make sure I had a little video record of the event, just in case. I'm sure the authorities were notified because he blocked that intersection. And back home, where the records are, here in my living room, had a record month. Got this stack of wax, which I will share in another video. Not this one, the next one, all right? But I wanted to share, this is my earnings for May. And yes, it was better than last month. Plus, there's about $400 worth of extra off Taskrabbit stuff, a little more than $400. You say on social media that you're a handyman, and then people, I've done auto mechanic stuff for years, help fix friends and folks' cars and do vehicle inspections for used cars, which I recommend. If you're going to buy a used car, especially if it's got over 100,000 miles, have a mechanic look at it, all right? I've heard so many horror stories. It's important. Anyway, but wait, there's more. TaskRabbit's doing this new thing with analytics where I can see where I rank amongst other Seattle taskers on the search results. Like when you open the app and look for a tasker, this is where you would see me, which is pretty cool, right? I like it. It's interesting. See where this goes. But yeah, it's been a great gig so far. I'm really happy with TaskRabbit so far. I'm hopefully optimistic. I'm making more money than I have in a long time. We're able to get out of a financial hole that Uber and Lyft kind of left us in, that we're finally getting caught up on some things, and that's great news. I enjoy the work. I'm a people person, so this is takes my mechanical aptitude and my people skills and even a little design, right? Like I enjoy the fact that I'm, kind of an interior designer in a way when people ask for advice, and people have liked my advice. So that's kind of cool. Next video, I'm going to share what kind of wax I got.